Hi, I'm Patrick Dooley. I'm the Senior Product Manager for GitLab's Ecosystem Group, and this is our 13.5 kickoff. Let's talk about the work that we're going to be doing over the next month. So first up, we're going to be adding something to the Jira development panel. So we're looking to add repository information and to show you where it's going to go. This is Jira, obviously. Here are some issues that we've put in a board. If we open up this board and work has been done inside of GitLab, it shows up here in the development panel. So we see there's been one commit and there are 2 open pull requests, which, come to think of it, doesn't make any sense, does it? But we've got this commit. We have a listing of that commit. We have the date it was made. We have the files that were changed. We also have these 2 pull requests, which are merge requests. But in the development panel, they're listed as pull requests. It shows the title of it, the status of it, when it was last updated. So all of this is really cool. It's really helpful for, specifically for developers who are working inside of this. It shows them all of the work that's been happening and allows you to easily navigate around. But it's missing a few things. So we don't have any branch data. We don't have build, deployment, or feature flag data. All of that stuff would be really cool. We just don't ship it over yet. So today, all we ship over is that commit and merge request data. So in 13.5, we're looking to add repository information. Repository information will fill in this branch data, so we'll show what branches are currently active. And then here's my epic for this, in 13.6, we're looking at adding build, 13.7, deployment, and 13.8, feature flag. So what we're hoping here is in 4 iterations, we'll be able to fill in all of these tabs. We'll have a much richer set of data there for people to interact with. Also, in the Jira space, we recently released the Jira issue list. So this shows you a list of Jira issues inside of GitLab. The idea being that we would like to get to a position where if you're a developer who's working in GitLab, but your project management is happening inside of Jira, we'd like you to be able to do 80+% of your work inside of GitLab. So this is kind of the second step. First, we showed you a list of issues, and now we've just recently, or are about to release as of when I'm recording this, the ability to federate your Atlassian account inside of GitLab. And with those individual user credentials, I can now grab details from each issue. So we're going to add a view that allows you to see the details of each issue. And then past this, we're also going to look at adding interactivity there. So the ability to then comment or change the status or add or remove labels. So this is kind of step 1 on those details. So on mass integration, which we just recently released instance level integration, we're finishing up group level integration. Now I don't think group level integration is going to ship in 13.5. We have a couple things we'll talk about here, but then there's some more work that we're doing to finish that out. One of those pieces is some cleanup on our database tables. We need to drop the default column from the services table. That's part of cleaning up for the group integration that's coming soon. And then we also need to add telemetry for group level integrations. So that'll specifically track, right now what we track is the usage of how many projects are integrated with service X. We also need to track how many projects are integrated with service X via the group level, right? So if you integrate on one group, but there are 1,000 projects behind it, showing that it's only integrated with one group, that doesn't really tell the whole story. So we need to be able to see the difference there. Also on the telemetry front, we want to add monthly active users for the stats that we collect for ecosystem. So again, what we do today is we collect how many projects are integrated with how many services. What we also would like to know is how many users are inside of those projects. So if you have an integration that has lots of projects integrated, but they're all very small projects that only have 1 user each, right? Like that's not as interesting necessarily as an integration that has only a few integrations, but there are thousands and thousands of users each. So helping us understand the volume of total users who are using these integrations will give us a much better lens into how we prioritize and think about what we work on next. So we've got 2 OKR things to talk about. One is increasing the front-end performance of our project homepage. So the project homepage is specifically this page. See how it takes a second to load? A lot of things kind of move around. That is the performance that we're talking about. And specifically, we're looking at the largest contentful paint is what we're hoping to address. So today it's 6.6 seconds. We want to get that down to 4.62 seconds. And that's all of these individual pieces. As they get painted in, the largest contentful paint is the one where you're seeing the most things kind of snap in. Now, there are a number of ways we can do this. We can reduce the CSS load. We can reduce unnecessary JavaScript. There are also, for example, some unnecessary components on every page load that we may be able to remove. Here's a good example. So if you click on the notifications settings and you click on custom, this modal, all of these things, all of this is being composed on page load every time. And despite the fact that this is probably not very commonly used, right? Like, how often are you actually changing your notification settings? So things like that, and again, CSS and JavaScript load reduction can help us drive that number down. And then also on the OKR front, we've been working towards making GitLab development Pajamas first, Pajamas being our design system and front-end toolkit. So we've got this issue where we're tracking 8 individual components that we were trying to migrate from our legacy tools to Pajamas. And this is our progress so far. We're 42% complete so far. We've got 2 months in, 1 month to go. And here's where we're at. We've been focusing on view buttons and on pagination. We started with 213 components. We have 86 as of today. So we've made a ton of progress on buttons and pagination. We still have a bunch of drop-downs, modals, tabs, popovers, and tooltips to go. But this has been huge, absolutely huge, that we've made this much progress. Every single one of those components is kind of one less piece of technical debt that we're carrying around, makes things more maintainable, makes things more performant, to the previous point, right? More performant, easier to maintain, and more consistent throughout the application. So this is really important work, and thank you to everyone who has been pitching in and participating. This has been really exciting. So that's it for 13.5. Tons of awesome stuff, working on some cool things in Jira, getting some more data so that we can better serve you, and then working to improve performance. It's going to be the best release ever, and we'll talk to you again in a month.